Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir et bon dimanche après-midi. Je dis c'est un plaisir encore pour nous venir, pour nous entrer la caillou. Côté que nous parlons faire une autre conversation, une autre débat. Nous disons merci pour patience. Depuis le show a commencé. Nous supposons commencer à 4h30, mais Natchi a toujours gagné quelques petits bagailles. Deviations.
La nature, on dit la
nature. Bien nous-mêmes. Oui, est-ce que c'est nous bien, est-ce que c'est Satan?
Mais nous faisons partie de la nature.
De la nature, ok. Comme petite conversation aujourd'hui, est-ce que c'est moi ou bien c'est Satan?
Nous-mêmes qui l'êtes là-bas, gagnons pour avec Satan, c'est nous-mêmes.
Satan.
Le problème pas.
C'est pas
But
Satan.
keep going.
Ok, ouais, parfois je me connais Satan qui a fait en retard. Oui, aussi. Est-ce que c'est nous bien, est-ce que c'est Satan? Est-ce que nous blâmons Satan parfois pour bagaille? Satan bagaille pour ensemble avec. So, nous comptons pour nous capables de gagner ensemble avec nous encore. Dr. Belizaire, do you want to say hello to the people
of course.
God?
Mais où qu'on aime de fait, nous lever dans la coupe de barrière. Mesdames et messieurs, nous t'avons salué tout le monde qui a regardé l'émission. N'importe côté que vous êtes, nous connaissons nos pile amis et à travers différentes villes qui braquent sur l'émission. Donc, nous nous remercions parce que vous toujours prêté attention à l'émission. It's a pleasure to see you again, my sister. Nous allons passer 2 heures de temps, ou 1 heure de temps et demi, pas 2 heures de temps. Nous allons faire 1 heure de temps et demi pour nous faire dialogue, pour nous faire règlement, parce que je toujours dit, mesdames et messieurs, règlement pas gâter tes amis. Donc, nous allons faire ce règlement. Je dis à ce sujet que nous allons discuter. Et très souvent, monde toujours à blâmer Satan, il toujours à blâmer l'autre monde pour bagaille. Il t'a dû prendre responsabilité pour tête. Je dis à nous pour aller faire conversation pour demander tête nous. Est-ce que une série de bagailles qui passent, est-ce que c'est Satan qui fait yo? Est-ce que c'est moi-même qui est irresponsable comme être humain? Est-ce que ce système là, est-ce que qui s'allie et qui fait dans état mieux? By the way, your dress looks very beautiful. It looks like you have your Muslim lady with the covering and all good.
I am Queen Dr. Pierre today.
I should really say Assalamu alaikum, my sister.
Shalom, thank you, sir. I am Queen Dr. Pierre today. I went back to the motherland and I got my hair done.
You did?
Got my hair did, yes.
Oh, okay, get your hair did.
This is my summer hair, y'all. Merci beaucoup.
So shall we take a break? Let's take a break. Or...
Yes, we are waiting for our colleague, Pastor Belizaire, pour un pile de nous qui suivent, qui connaît de camp meeting, Haitian American camp. Pastor Belizaire have been in camp for 2 weeks. He wanted to make it here so badly. Parce que là, nous trois par là, nous changer l'autre.
C'est le Père, le Fils et le
Saint-Esprit.
Trinité à deux marchés. Alors, nous n'avons pas aucune blasphémie, mais c'est modèle, nous. Yes, yes.
So, nous avons une petite pause pendant Pastor B a situé pour nous capables de venir, nous trois par là, pour nous faire débat ça. Est-ce que c'est moi? Est-ce que c'est Satan? Nous pourrons voir qui s'allie. Nous retourner dans un petit moment. Bonsoir, nous de retour, tant que nous t'avons dit à l'heure, nous t'avons collègue nous que ça a gagné quelques semaines depuis nous trois, parce que là ensemble, il y a un monde qui te dit c'est le Père, le Fils et le Saint-Esprit.
Ou bien 3 feuilles, parce que pour l'avocat, il faut besoin de 3 feuilles.
On a besoin de 3 feuilles. So, nous là ensemble, je dis, et our very own Pastor B, straight from camp, il peut saluer nous. Après ça, nous allons commencer. Est-ce que c'est moi, est-ce que c'est Satan? Partager link là, relayer tout le monde dans la famille, chita ensemble, dialogue là pour le miel, so, on nous partager, échanger idées ensemble. Pasteur B, bonsoir, bienvenue.
Well, good afternoon, and I'm glad to see you, man.
You're looking like a camper.
Nice to be seen. It's nice to be seen, my friend.
I see you look very sharp, and your face is shiny, and
wow.
As for me, man, it wasn't so good, so.
Well, we are blessed with different gifts.
Oh, looking good is not one of his gifts? I'm not going to try my colleague like that.
You know? Oh, me, I look rough, like something so somebody saw me this morning.
Let me tell you.
Who are you again? Who are you supposed to be?
You are a beautiful man. That's all that matters.
Made in the image of God.
And I'm still made in the image of God.
Yeah, well, that's debated. That's to be debated. Let's keep
so
going.
If I'm not in the image of God, whose image I made?
You got the fond mon bonjour d'abord.
Je salue tout le monde qui a suivi. Merci parce que nous prenons du temps pour travailler ensemble avec nous dans la série Inappropriate Conversations. Et comme Dr Pierre te dit, nous faisons quelques jours que nous pas ensemble. Je dis à nous encore en chair en os. Nous souhaitons que nous toujours capables ensemble pour les jours qui viennent. Mais c'est vraiment difficile. Nous faisons 10 semaines dehors et mon cher Bayo te raide. Moi, je dis avant de quitter, il y a une bonne niche gap qui m'a dit, je vais me nettoyer dans le camp. Et heureusement, le gap m'a dit, je vais fait mal, mon cher. Et je ne sais pas ce qui passe, moi, ça n'a pas encore arrivé. So, that's a good thing.
Le gap m'a dit, je vais fait mal?
Ça dépend des gens, non?
Ça
dépend des gens qui ont allergie.
Ah, mais haïtien, monsieur.
Le
Haïtien,
gap m'a dit, comme qu'on aurait peut-être fait mal pour moi. Parce que tonight, I may be in pain, I don't know. But anyway.
Maybe adrenaline is a good thing.
Yeah, because I was rushing, so that's a good thing. But when I'm resting, maybe it might impact.
Just don't rest.
Anyway,
but keep going.
Get your gym, just before I left. Funny enough, I'm picking up a piece of trash and get tombé couvrir. I'm like, oh,
wow.
What's wrong with this picture?
Hopefully you could appreciate the pain that is associated with it. There's a beauty in that, my friend. There's a lesson to be learned.
Non, mais c'est famille de douleur nous habitués à la souffrance.
Hey, they train us that way. So papa say souffrance is not worth it.
That's correct. Okay, Dr. Pierre, take us there.
Alrighty. So, est-ce que c'est moi, est-ce que c'est Satan? Dans le domaine psychologie, nous étudions à length ça qui est le self-motivation. Pour commencer, moi pour parler un peu de self-motivation, qui ça yon moun ka besoin for self-motivation. Et puis, nous pourrons collègue moi qui pourra parler plus de à part de self là qui l'autre bagage qui ka entrer en ligne de compte. Donc titre dit est-ce que c'est moi, est-ce que c'est Satan? Est-ce que misère, péripéties, travail n'a passé ou bien nous pas successful, nous pas thrive dans ça affaire, est-ce que c'est dans nous-mêmes ça y est ou bien est-ce que c'est Satan? Nous dit Satan, nous pas parler de Satan le diable seulement, nous connaît dans coutume nous toujours utiliser Satan toute bagaille nous attribuer à Satan. Parfois I feel bad for Satan.
I wouldn't feel bad for him. I wouldn't go that far.
Sometimes Satan probably had nothing to do.
Man is innocent.
With what's going on, but we've been accustomed to say that, oh, ça c'est faute Satan. But Satan a parlé de lien, it's much broader than this. We're talking about Satan in terms of systems. Nous avons parlé de système déjà, nous avons parlé de subsystem. Système ça Satan a un pays. Satan a un système de gouvernance. Satan a yon gens moun pensé. Satan a une idée. So, là, nous dit Satan, nous avons besoin have this disclaimer. We're not talking about Satan, the devil. We're talking about systems that may take the shape of Satan and that operate in a way that either keeps us from fulfilling our full selves or keep us from fulfilling ourselves at all. So, what is the psychology of self-motivation? For someone pou ka genye motivasyon personnel, pou ka senti que ou se yon moun qui ap viv avec toute potentialité ou besoin sa ki rele empowerment.
Okay.
Autonome. Est-ce que ou non système cap pour into you to give you the necessary tools that you need pour capable thrive, pour capable évoluer? Est-ce que ou senti système ou fait partie de lien que c'est l'école, que c'est l'église, famille, are they nurturing you pour your tools qu'on besoin pour to feel that you are motivated? So empowerment, autonome, encadrement, ou carré ou traduire j'en vle, mais empowerment is going to be key. So for someone to even begin to tap into self-motivation, you have to ask yourself 3 questions.
Okay.
The first question, can I do it? Est-ce que je peux faire?
Yes, you can.
Est-ce que je peux faire? Albert Bandura vient avec l'idée self-efficacy. Est-ce qu'on a une capacité qui ou besoin pour faire ça? Soit à l'école, est-ce qu'on a une capacité intellectuelle? Est-ce qu'on a une capacité communautaire? Est-ce qu'on a une capacité familiale? Est-ce qu'on a une ressource? Self-efficacy. Deuxième question, will it work? Qu'est-ce que ça semble faire? Est-ce que la travaille? Then you go into the response efficacy. Est-ce que moi gagne tout ça besoin pour
resources to make it happen.
Resources to make it happen? Et même l'on gagne ressources ça, est-ce que la travaille? Nous t'ai parlé tout dernièrement de dame qui haïtien, qui ont un système qui pas favorable, mais qui pensait the other alternative is too great of a risk. Can I do it? Troisième, non, will it be worth it? Will the consequences of me making such a change, will it be worth it? So in order for us to look at those 3 questions, we need to look at forces. The forces, the first one, competence. Again, alluding back to self-efficacy. Est-ce que moi j'ai compétence moi besoin? Est-ce que dans famille, dans système que m'y est-ce que yo te pour into me, te bam the necessary tools m'a besoin pour me faire ça? Compétence là, again, self-efficacy. Pour connaître sous bon nom bagay, il faut recevoir feedback, il faut gen moun qui ka examiner, qui ka évaluer, qui bon feedback. Est-ce que dans la communauté ou dans la famille ou gagne bagay ça? Deuxième, c'est un choix. Est-ce qu'on a un choix? Conversation, ça ne peut pas parler, on parle de est-ce que c'est moi, est-ce que c'est ça, nous peut parler en pile de choix.
Est-ce
que l'environnement, il y a des gens qui ont dit, nous toujours gagnons, il y a des gens qui ont dit, well, pas nécessairement. Il y a une série de conditions faites là-dedans. Conditions faites là-dedans, guettant, fait que il y a une série de choix que tu supposé gagner, moi pas gagner.
It reduces. Si vous faites en Haïti, la vie amène des à zéro.
Exactement, juste parce qu'on fait en Haïti.
Yeah, la vie des à zéro. Ça ne veut pas égaliser le match là.
Ou capable. Mais quand il y a qui ça a besoin?
Exactement.
Est-ce qu'on gagne empowerment ça? Est-ce que your life is being governed by those forces? We've seen competence, we've seen choice, now community. Community, est-ce que communauté m'a évolué là-dedans? It is conducive pour aider m'évoluer, pour meet my full potentiality. Est-ce que environnement que là-dedans, communauté, est-ce que j'ai des ressources even in therapy and biblical, spiritual counseling? Le yon moun vin koto avon problème, qui ça nous dit? Nous, we tap to see qui sont de ressources moun nan genyen. Est-ce que moun nan genyen un support system? Est-ce que moun nan nous caché tant parler tout go anglais, tout go français, tout go terme avant. When you go home in your community, in your natural habitat, do you have it to evolve and thrive? Si ko pa genyen the support system, then it's all talk. It's all beautiful language for nothing. The fourth one is consequences. We are controlled by consequences. B.F. Skinner is big in that. So we do everything we do because of the consequences. Nous ka choisi pour me faire, nous ka choisi venir là. What is the consequence for me? I get a thrill out of being with my colleagues and talking to other people, debating, educating myself. That's a consequence. Mde ka choisi m'pa vini tout, m'ret la kay mwen fè whatever I normally do at home. That's a consequence. So we are driven by consequences. Ki konsekans sa genyen? Ou di sou fèt Haïti, la vyan get ap menen 2-0. So gen moun kap di même 5-0 même. Parce que bagay yo pa fazo la pou même. Skinner parlait encore de Beyond Freedom and Dignity. Non, yon nan livre li écrit son livre qui est très powerful. So, si nous contrôlons par conséquence, si pour nous capables really motivate ourselves, we need first to be empowered. We need to be able to have competence. Nous besoin gagner choix. Nous besoin gagner une communauté. Nous besoin penser à conséquences. Now, en tant que chrétien, en tant que haïtien, haïtienne, est-ce que nous pensons, d'après toute sa psychologie dit là, est-ce que nous pensons, haïtiens qui vivent Haïti ou bien haïtiens qui immigrent ici, est-ce que nous pensons yo gagne those forces? Est-ce que nous pensons yo gagne 4 ça yo? Et si yo pas gagne, comment faire yo pas gagne?
So having that's a very nice expose. Let's go back to the question after the expose. Est-ce que c'est mon côté individu à placer dans toute équation ça? Est-ce que c'est Satan qui est responsable pour
Satan,
système yo? Succès alors succès ou décrit succès n'importe gens voulez décrire succès. Succès c'est un bagage individuel. Okay?
It's subjective.
Yeah, ça veut dire c'est ou même qui décrit ça lié. Soit bagage ou dit qui succès là voilà, est-ce que c'est bon Dieu 100%? Bagage ou dit qui pas succès, est-ce que c'est Satan? Ça veut dire l'individu qui côté individu a placé dans l'équation ça. C'est question ça m'a demandé. Qui côté le placer ou bien est-ce que tout bagage c'est chance ou bien Satan, si c'est un bon bagage c'est bon Dieu? Where is the individual in this equation based on what is being said here?
There's a, I mean, please about for instance, for me personally, I think, I mean, ma pensée à tout ça dit yo.
Ça me fait envie d'un petit sous tête parce que je comprends.
I'm warming up, man. I'm warming up pretty slow.
You're a diesel. A big diesel.
So, you just mentioned something. Success is subjective, or is it really?
Well, when I say okay.
No, but I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm raising the question. I'm raising the question. Let me
clarify what I want to say.
Okay, let's go there.
Succès pour moi c'est achever un bagay monter vle achever.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not necessarily a college degree or $1 million in the bank or whatever the case might be. If I was talking to my wife, I said, if my intention is to kill someone, then I kill that person, then I become successful. Right, that's success.
That's why
if I have to rob a bank, I end up robbing the bank. That is success.
That's success.
But that's what is defined by the individual who wants to do whatever the hell that they want to do.
Yeah. So going back to that point of, okay, we're talking about success and all that stuff. The reason why I raised that question is you're talking about being preconditioned in society and we need outside. A lot of time we have a measuring stick. No go model. We have a standard we are following. When we talk about success, we look at people, even though in the back of our mind, we have an image what that success is, based on somebody who has already accomplished, somebody who has already made it. So by your definition, I agree, but in general sense, I'm saying, do we really have a subjective definition of success?
Well, I think that's a different topic.
That's a different topic. I said subjective because my idea of success may be different than your idea of success.
It's subjective, right?
I think what you meant objective, if we were to say that there is a definite set definition of success, this is what success is.
I think the subjective success is influenced by what the society is, but it has to be defined by the individual.
Correct. So
it is influenced.
It's not
the American dream is that you got to get a house, get married,
go to church and do this. It's not really so much different than what we're talking about. If you look at it, it's actually
okay.
it's
So
actually
is it
part of the
Satan?
conversation.
Is it
Because you
Satan?
talk about the individual. Okay, how do you motivate yourself? How do you define the individual? That's what we're talking about, right? Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
Here's what's important. And Dr. Pierre, I understand everything you are saying. Ça nous pas doué, m'pense nous gen trop là-dedans. Nous vinn gen un groupe de monde qui chita sou yo y a gratte santé toute journée. Yo pas fait rien pour la vie yo. Et puis coup bagay pas passer pour yo, yo dit c'est Satan qui fait bagay pas passer pour yo. D'accord avec ou besoin ressources, ou besoin tout bagay que vous parlez BF Skinner, communauté ou support system, d'accord ou besoin si ou pas gen bagay ça yo, li ka vinn faire bagay yo plus difficile pour vous. Mais m'ta remè communiquer directement avec yon, bien quand on dit comme ça que dans l'église et nous parler Satan pas nécessairement Satan Jean moun yo comprendre ni. Il y a un système de gouvernement. Il y a un système de racisme, il y a un système dans l'école, un professeur qui doit Satan, une banque qui doit Satan, anything. OK? Mais je pense que ça qui est important, faut que l'individu mette tête dans un environnement pour connaître que moins responsable des succès, moins responsable de démise moins. If that's a Creole word, I think it is.
Yeah, the demise.
My demise, OK? Faut mon un dénominateur commun. Moun qui pas gagné une série de succès, l'âme de succès, ça veut dire pas achevé, ça a été set out to achieve, is the fact that they always blame it on Satan. And that Satan always take a different form, like we said. So we must get to a point where we stop pointing the fingers at Satan, where we look at the individual. Parce que, les nous regarder individu, n'a pas fait un inventory of assets and say, going back to this list, what do I have? What am I missing? What do I need to go get? But si c'est ça tout le temps, m'te met get tout bagay sa yo, m'pa jamais rive côté m'do rive. So that's what the psychology. There need to be a psychological shift. There's a paradigm shift. And that's what I want everybody to understand. Je dis, Satan pas gagné, moun arrête il pas prier, il pas chercher bon Dieu, dit OK, bon Dieu pas une relation avec, il dit c'est Satan détruit relation avec bon Dieu. Mais Satan pas fait rien pour ça. Which is crazy, Pastor. When the young Jewish teacher started this movement, l'église là, it was Christ-centered. When did we come from Christ-centered to Satan-centered?
Mercy.
When? You know, why do we pay so much attention to him?
So, I like your question. Somebody repeated that question in the chat where you say that est-ce qu'en Haïti, nous avons les 4C, compétences, choix, et nous on va connecter avec ça, dire compétences, choix, communauté, conséquences. OK. So, est-ce que est disponible pour vous?
Better question, my friend. Do we need to have it all to achieve what we need?
That's what I was
Can we do without all those?
That's what I was coming.
Now, this is the convenient.
You can do it with the first three questions. Can I do it?
Can I do it?
Will it work?
Will it work?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Then you go into the different components. I wanted to get to that Haiti conversation.
Okay.
I know we kind of...
Let's assume, here's my thing. Let's have this conversation. To me, I think let's assume that we're talking to a bunch of natural Haitian.
Well,
I'm not saying that's what it is.
I will not waste my time. I will not waste my time.
But here's the thing.
By the way, I have done that, by the way.
Let's assume that's who we're talking to. Okay? They don't have this knowledge of your forces.
Yes.
They cannot even question, will it work, and this and that.
So that's where I want to go with this.
If you approach it like that, you have a better understanding.
That's where I want to go with this.
Okay, take
so
me there.
all these beautiful forces, the three questions.
Assume they don't have no idea.
Let's not sweep anything under the rug. Yeah. Oftentimes, I know this conversation.
So we're gonna be rough.
This conversation is always in the context of Haitians. Haïtiens qui Haïti, qui or certain Haitians qui vivent in some sort of false pride. Révolution t'est faite, first black nation, pour qui ça nous stocke.
Which are good things. They are great stuff. I love this.
That's delayed depression. That's
Hold on.
Delayed depression.
Yeah,
No, it's not depression. And for me, I came with the list because I wanted to really tap into it. I know some people, we can be so harsh. Nous avons des gens très critiques de une série de monde qui Haïti, qui ont une série de circonstances, qui ont un système qui était créé, qui design pour y arrêter gens au terre. Est-ce que nous jamais demandé pour que ça nous genouille tant que
go to the Haiti.
Yes,
go to the Haiti thing.
I'm gonna go there. This is a system.
Don't get kidnapped when you go there, though. That's your problem. If you do, I don't know you.
Oh no, they won't kidnap me.
Well, yeah.
We're brothers and sisters.
Yeah, okay, all right.
We got this. System te créé pour Kembe Haiti. First of all, our revolution was a slap to the slavery system. We cannot discount that. Nous pas discount that at all. And as a result, your pays qui fin pour indépendance li, qui était slave, qui compte jouer 150 millions de francs, qui jodi qui évalue entre 20 à 30 billions de dollars pour payer moun qui t'a oppressé.
But before I go there, let's go back to something you just said. Stay to the place, the part of the independence. The
all
freedom.
of that is gonna come together. So
let her finish.
Okay,
Let her
go
finish.
ahead.
all of that is gonna come
Okay,
together.
okay.
Because
She's passionate about this.
nous-mêmes qui étaient oppressés, quand j'entendais ça, c'est nous-mêmes qui avons payé colons encore.
Okay.
Yon jeune pays qui fait pour indépendance, where are we going to get this money from?
Okay.
So what is the best way to stop something? You stop it from its foundation.
Okay.
As an infant, as a baby nation, you were given these grave consequences. Two Satans, friends in the United States, États-Unis pas même faire business avec nous, pas avant que nous payions 150 000 francs ça. Ils prennent nous 122 ans pour nous payer. Do you think that your pays qui ont bébé, qui pas gagne ressources, qui pas gagne l'argent, qui fait que sortir dans esclavage, yes nous te gagne ressources naturelles, une série de bagages, but si nous pas faire business avec une série de l'autre pays, so yo te mette pied sous cou nous. When I was thinking about this conversation, what came to mind? George Floyd. I can't breathe. Peuple haïtien, pas de jambes, gain option pour te respirer. Parce que même là, nous te prétendons pour nous prendre indépendance, nous, blanc, que indépendance nous serve no purpose for at all. Parce que nous, tout pays ici qui vient indépendant, noir, bla 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 bla, we started that. Et ça te fait un mal qui était grave à tout système colonisation.
Okay.
So, qui ça a fait? Yo mettez genou sous cou, literally, they keep sucking the air out of you. Yon pays qui prend 122 ans, qui a payé yon l'argent, il pas supposé payer. It should be the other way around. We expect Haitians to just have that motivation, that drive, to have those forces. How can we expect this from a people? Depuis commencement.
I will go
Depuis
question.
no commencement.
I will go with question.
I'm not making excuses.
I
mean, we all are free.
You're exposing the problem. I got you.
I'm not making excuses,
But I have some push.
you can
I have
push.
questions,
And
yeah.
this
have
is the
questions.
beauty of this
I have some
conversation.
pushes.
I have questions, but you push first, then I'll ask questions.
Go ahead.
Do you believe my colleague, my sister, ça nous te payé, pas nous, pas payer 5 cob, pas l'argent pas.
Comme nous te prêté dans mon France encore, with the big interest.
Même qu'il était dans mes haïtiens.
C'était l'argent fois si nous te prêté
Vous
là.
pensez que la pauvreté à Haïti, c'est à cause de dette indépendance là?
Je pense que ça a joué un gros rôle là-dedans.
Okay.
Si je prends premier 122 ans d'existence, pour me payer une dette, je ne pas te prêter.
I mean, let's get there. Let's look at the numbers.
Je ne pas te acheter rien.
Let's look at the
Si
numbers.
je prends 122 ans, can you imagine, pendant 122 ans, ça, si we really had the opportunity to create a system where all people can thrive, to create a system côté tout le monde can feel supported.
Okay.
Je pense que le narratif nous est différent.
Let me tell you, I respect your academics, but I have to tell you, I feel like you're on the wrong side of history when it comes to that. That's fine.
Please do elaborate.
Let's look at this. There was a period of time that the Haitian dollar actually made it to this. It was equivalent to the American dollar.
To the American dollar. No question.
When was it? 19
Duvalier
something.
time.
Under Duvalier time.
Under Duvalier.
Okay. What does that tell me? Just that economic fact in itself. that tell me that the Haitian economy was on pace to recover or had recovered, had caught up to Satan's economy at the time. Okay, let's stay there. Let's stay there.
My point exactly.
Well,
My
let's stay
point
there.
exactly. Tamwen.
Let's stay.
Du valeur 57 à 86. Qui Satan qui t'est venu, qui t'a besoin, nous indépendants, qui t'a besoin de mettre démocratie pour nous.
That's fine.
Qui Satan? Non.
Remember,
Qui
we're not
Satan?
saying that. But remember,
Nous États-Unis.
we're not saying. But listen to me.
That was all led by the US.
But listen to me.
We need democracy.
But listen to me. I'm not saying that Satan does not exist. I'm not saying this. I'm saying that the house Negro in Haiti is the bigger problem than Satan. C'est rat kay kap manger pay kay.
I don't know si bigger.
Kounya, bon bagay. Jean-Claude Duvalier, François Duvalier, économie a caught up. François, régime Duvalier, yo gaspillé tout ça, yo gaspillé. Yo mettez avec Satan parce que Satan te connaît les Jean-Claude à François Duvalier t'a enterré mon tout vivant en Haïti. Satan viré gel parce que il te jeune un nègre en Haïti qui t'a fait. Ça yo vini. Jean-Bertrand Aristide vini, li la gezam sous Cité Soleil pour le capable li voler l'alcoto. La masse là, li dit qu'on ça n'a fait qui j'en les bagages là encore et bagages populaires te ramasser tout l'argent dans mais tout monde yo, li prend l'argent yo. Matin li vini il fait yo piller, yo ba l'argent yo fait ça. Ça veut dire bon bagage. Yes, américain c'est Satan li est vrai. D'accord avec 100%. Mais bon bagage tout. Même Satan qui a attaqué joueur, si haïtien son joueur, qui a attaqué Haïti, c'est même Satan qui a attaqué République Dominicaine à Cuba. Ça qui passe, les là Cuba, les joueurs nos Cubains qui a pensé pour les Cubains. Les là la République Dominicaine, les joueurs nos Dominicains qui a pensé pour les Dominicains. Li dit Satan, on connaît là, on pas qu'à faire trop en bas. Wap bon bagay pour peuple là. Mabdou, Mr. Mabdou. C'est pas Satan qui fait la report au point sale. C'est pas Satan qui fait que Zenglin doit marcher tout partout. Yes, Satan voyait Satan son économiste lié tout. Son capitaliste lié.
He's gonna do something in his best interest.
Satan voyait Zambaou, mais c'est l'église épiscopale avec toute l'autre qui a débarqué sous waf là. Qui est-ce qui bat Satan en franchise douanière? C'est the Negroes of Haiti. But so now let's not play holy. Yes, Satan will play a problem. But the house Negroes in Haiti who open the door to Satan every day. As a matter of fact, they feel inadequate.
Why is that though? Why is that?
Now, I would agree with you if you say that the psychology of that house Negro must change, which is, can I do it without Satan? That's where we need to go at that nigga.
See, depuis in our infancy, depuis la nous petit bébé, you faut penser que you cannot do it without me. First of all, I'm going to put the debt on you. Qui quand on peut jouer comme l'après encore France nous fin pour indépendance nous from them with a high interest. So depuis le commencement, your boycotté. Whatever it is, not nous penser nous t'as pas égal.
Well, that's why we talk about the psychological revolution. That's why we're talking about, number one, there must be a psychological revolution. Number two, I've said it many times that this Negro will die in slavery. I've said it, there's no change for this place. I've said it 1,000,000 times and I'm going to say it again.
Okay, Pastor B, we're a little too passionate. You go.
No, you guys are doing good. I mean, listen, for me, I think that we can blame the entire universe if we want to.
I'm not blaming.
No, I'm just saying
we cannot discount.
Okay,
the part
not discounting. But my problem is that a lot of the focus has been trop concentration sur ça qui est passé. Par exemple, nous avons Aristide Moutet président, première attaque, la France doit nous comme nous payer nous battre.
Et pour te la voler, il prend ti machin.
Mais la France doit nous l'argent.
Bon bagage.
Alors, même pas.
Poco.
Excusez-moi.
Les Aristide. Non, écoute. Bill Clinton had to apologize. I don't care. On va manger Cameroun. C'est une bagage. Je manger Cameroun. Bon bagage. The Satan. Même Jean-Bertrand Aristide qui propose nationaliste là. Les voyez en exil en 1991. Non, il était élu en 91. 94 pour tourner. 15 octobre 94, il tourne, non?
Yes, c'est ça.
Là pour le tourner, c'est pas vendre contradire avec Bill Clinton pour être capable de faire le tourner sous pouvoir. Clinton apologized, but Satan had to find somebody to work with. Même Jean-Bertrand Aristide.
Certain jobs has to continue. Okay. Depuis le commencement, they had this hand on us. Faut continuer.
Aristide te a dit m'pas tourner.
What are the consequences?
Well, the consequences is that je perds 2 ans, je ne suis pas président encore, mais je n'ai pas le pouvoir. Ça veut dire que je vends toute une population, toute diri la tibonite que tu as fabriqué. Parce que Clinton, Arkansas, Rice, good business for the United States. At the time, Aristide sold the soul of the Haitian people to Satan. That's what we need to talk about.
Merci. Okay, so okay, we're focusing on no back discount the people contribute to that. La France is one of them from the beginning.
États-Unis, la France, deux
Is that
gros
from
Satan.
But here's my problem.
Satan va parler français.
Here's my problem. No matter what they are, how can they be an obstacle to us?
Physically, not mentally.
Thank you. And actually, she just drew you on what you were saying. Mm-hmm. The mental part, who can maintain that mentality tonight, is say house Negroes. The house Negroes are still looking up to the master. And they're punishing the field Negroes because they have access to the master. So when you say, okay, we didn't put them out mentally, I agree with you 100%. And this is what you asked the question earlier when we were talking today. When do we start? Internally?
Or is it them? Yeah, thank you.
Is it Satan ou bien individuel?
Individuel.
Okay, is it
Satan
or is it...
Ma exposé was.
Yeah.
Psychologie dit nous, mais qui critère yon moun ka besoin for self-motivation. Now, est-ce que dans tout ça, tout bagay qui rentre en ligne de compte Satan, gros Satan, petit Satan, mentalité qui a gouverné Jean peuple en pensée, Jean peuple en vivre, est-ce que nous pensons que peuple ça positionné pour moun yo capable vraiment entrer dans ligne, dans même ligne avec psychologie?
Change the way they think.
Doc, let me go somewhere before you go there, Dr. J. Let's go somewhere. Let's look at your forces, but first let's look at the 3 questions. What's the first questions?
Can I do it?
Can I do it? So do we all agree that we can do it? Haitians can do it?
Not collectively.
Not collectively.
Not collectively?
No.
Why cannot they do it collectively?
Because
here's the thing. Here's the thing I'm looking at. Okay, you just mentioned the pride of the Haitian being the first independent, black independent republic. Okay, we talked about it and all that, being the model and all that stuff. We did it they did it collectively. The Haitians then put their heads together. No, you must admit, they did it collectively. Even though later they divided and they fight among themselves. But they did it collectively.
But what you're asking is different.
What am I asking that is so different?
Are you asking for them to find collective success? We have collective struggles. We have fought. Nous goumets ensemble. Même pour que j'aime bon mon lait, côté que Haïti, te gon succès collectif, yo te séparé ensemble. L'union des visos, l'union fait la force. What is union? Union, if I put water, mettre l'huile, l'eau, gaz, dans mon bagage, ils font l'union, il va faire l'unité. I can get a machine, remove the water, pump the gas out, pump the thing. Yeah. This is different. Okay, l'unité means it becomes one. We don't have that.
Okay.
Let's be real.
So for you agree that the individual only there's no collective success.
Well, based on self, that's what it's called, self-motivation. It has to start individually. Individually, we can have certain people who would have probably all of the forces or the empowerment needed. You're getting autonomous pour you capable go about change.
So technically, individually we can do it. Individually, we can do it, which will impact the mass.
Each one of us can.
Yeah, but it will impact the mass eventually. But we start with the individual.
We start with, but not enough to change. Pour faire Haïti sortir dans petit marché pour venir dans le pays. Pas gasser moun cap. Parce que we need enough.
Let me push back on this because here's the thing. The way you say it, you make it like, okay, the individual eventually will come together in a mass to make it happen.
I never said that.
No, I'm saying, okay, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is we will save enough individuals, but not enough to save the country.
I disagree with you again.
Well, so far, show me the... Well, you can disagree all you want. Show me the statistics.
Hear me out. Why do I disagree with you?
You cannot just disagree. Let's talk statistics.
No. Here's what I'm saying. If you believe in the power of the individual to the power of change, the individual to change him or herself, pour commencer avec changer tête monde, and we just mentioned earlier, okay, say you have a group of individuals
Okay.
who are changed or reformed, like you call them, and they have visions and they're progressive and all that stuff.
Okay.
And so yo qui en charge cap dirige pays.
Côté a
Why
passé.
can't we have mass
Côté a
changes?
passé.
Huh?
Qui côté a passé?
What do you mean qui côté a
Il y a
passé?
Jovenel, yo, non, seconde.
Because Jovenel was one man standing in the face of a
Well, then that's what I think. That's what he's alluding to. If we're making this
non,
change
but il faut
individually,
enough.
si son seul moun ka fel, yon seul moun, deux gen moun, trois gen moun, he needs to take the mass. We need a mass outrage. But est-ce que moun yon nan situation, est-ce que yon gen the resources, the situation, est-ce que yon nan situation pou yon ka fel vwe?
So before we go, let's go to the next question. Before
Go bagay. Bambo no.
So
We are very academic.
It can be done to some extent.
We
Yes.
come to the next point, but go ahead.
Anderson atea.
Let's go to the floor.
Nou go mentalité son Messi n'aptan tout temps. Et pas ne marne n'aptan Messi. Et puis Messi a vini déjà. N'aptan no Messi. Si m'aptan no bus là passé déjà, m'a prêté temps jusqu'à ce que nous ne pas attendre. Tu tout le temps envoie-moi. Et bon mon seconde. Tout le temps c'est envoie-moi. Ou moun yo voye $100 ba ou acheter 3 téléphones avec lui. But why don't you use that $100 by acheter 3 ou 4 pour bien te Robert avec lui? Hein? Why don't you do that? Kounya la m'pral ça c'est ressources la gete là. Si moun voye 100 yo envoie moi $100.
We don't have a lack of, but I agree with you. We don't have a lack of resource in Haiti.
No, there's not a lack of resource.
There is not a lack of resource.
Même j'ai avec job. Je parle avec mon ami même qui en Haïti. Il dit monde qui dit Haïti pas gain job, they're crazy. Gain job Haïti, pas gain job Haïti pour monde n'a formé yo. Haïti pas ferme monde pour job nous gain.
Correct.
Monde
Pour qui ça?
Hein? Parce que
Tout moun qui Haïti a toujours été en bas moun diaspora.
exactement.
Again, it goes back
How
to
is
the
it
system, to the
possible?
root of the problem.
I have my
It was
colleagues from
designed
Florida
that
State
way.
University that go to Haiti to work.
It was designed that way.
There's a lot of good jobs in
Because the CN US still benefit from nous instruire moun yo la nou voyo
Mais-
travail.
mais-
That keeps the
mais-
mass.
bon m'dou bagay.
Ça kembe mass la nan
Li pa kapab ou pa
oppression
ka dim se US. Logo Université d'État d'Haïti, la forme un paquet moun nan dactylographie comme profession. Moun nan pa jam moun machine a taper dans toute ville, seul pain li taper dans café. Ça pas grand rien pour lui avec Satan bien États-Unis. Logo yon moun, li fait 4 ans l'aller dans diplomatie, il pas capable parler français, seul créole la parler. Qui peut pas faire diplomatie en dehors
Ma
pour
palo
sortir?
overall, when you get to the root cause of it, ou ka wè kote ke system nan te designed that way to keep us
But
nan
here's what I'm
sanouye
saying.
kon
Here's
ya.
what I would like to. Here's a message that I'd like to send to all the Negroes in Haiti. You can change the system, nigga. Change it.
Can we?
You can change your educational system.
But
You can build.
we've talked about this before.
You can pick up the trash in the street. Master doesn't tell you not to pick up the.
Yeah,
Le mal font passeport.
they're just nasty.
Le mal font passeport. Bam
Do
do
they?
bagay.
They're just nasty.
Do they now?
Yeah,
Do
Le
they?
haïtien
I love
al
you
font
all,
passeport.
but you all can be very nasty.
Okay, thank you. Le
Thank
haïtien al
you
font
for telling
passeport
them
passe.
that.
Le haïtien al font passeport fait 12 mois jusqu'à ce qu'on va jouer le passeport. L'onti moun fait en Haïti, li gen Baptiste, li pas ka jamais joindre. Et pas ça tant que pas balti mon Baptiste non, c'est parce qu'on méchant, c'est parce qu'on mauvaise foi. Don't tell me Master has anything to do with
again,
that.
let's
I
go
know
back.
what Master has done to me, and I don't like Master because of what he has done to me. But no house Negro is gonna confuse Master and the role that they have played in this.
So let's go back to that. Even to the Christian community.
You got me going.
You mentioned the biggest problem.
I
We'll come back
see.
to that.
The moves.
So
Let's dance.
let's tango salsa.
Hey.
I wish you were to
I'll
tango.
go with compa.
You want to tango? But let's go back to that. So, même dans la communauté chrétienne, hein, okay, one of the thing is the devil. In fact, nous allons dans l'histoire de l'humanité, l'histoire de la chute. Ou après que Adam, ça te met tout là. Ah, mon cher, il faut mettre de côté.
Don't blame game.
I don't think I from now. No, mais Adam, prends responsabilité devant mon Dieu.
Ça, c'est déclaration par docteur.
Est-ce qu'il pas fait?
Ça
Mais
pas
son
dit-
acte sexuel qui te
mais son-
commet.
Mais ça,
Mais il dit son pomme, son acte sexuel qui te
Peuple a
commet.
tout trouvé, bah lui.
Bagarre l'écrit.
You don't play too much.
Let me go back.
Go ahead,
So,
my
Adam
friend.
dit, ah, faut nous mettre de côté maintenant, peut-être faire le moins, il va manger. Ça veut dire, il blâmer, premièrement, bon Dieu, deuxièmement, la femme. Or, il dit que dame n'a pas il point manger. Pas oublier, non? Dame n'a pas mettre un coucher pour l'abdomen, il garage dans gauche, non? They gave to him li grab li manje. But le bon Dieu parle avec, il dit, ah, Seigneur, ou ben mon femme n'a fait me péché. Then la bonne dit, femme, what did you do? Femme dit, ah, la gon vient ça pendant rager à la, mon cher, ça peut venir séduire. Manger. Au diable a dit, et Bible a dit, diable a fait une conversation à Dame, non? C'est dans la conversation, il dit, Dame a dit, ouais, bah là, bon, dans le ciel, et ouais, bon à manger, c'est lui qui peut fouiller dans le gargan. Diable a pas forcé dans le gargan. Okay? So, we can go back all the way through from the community. I'm talking about the Christian community. They always blaming the devil.
But when you find...
In fact, sometimes on the YouTube channel, even me, sometimes I question myself. I say, why do you... Every time we do, oh, diable. Des fois, même dans prière, on mentionne le diable plus que mentionner le nom de l'Éternel des armées.
Yeah, Christianity becomes very...
Satan-focused.
Satan-centered, yes.
So, Satan-focused that we forget about anything. Raconté parmi les nations, c'est refait en parlant de Dieu. But why we talking about les bas-faits du diable, on peut parler les hauts-faits de Dieu. So
the system.
The system. So we want someone to blame. And I go to
but there's no success in that.
One of the worst that could have happened to the Western world is the discovery of Satanism. Mm-hmm. Because we find a scapegoat to blame for everything.
Who created Satanism?
I don't want to get there, but he talked about it.
Well, not Bible.
It
was designed that way.
Well, not Bible.
Actually, he want to claim that the Alexander people and the Romans people brought in the amplified the Satanism in order to control a certain group of people to make you powerless. Mm-hmm. Because, Doc, as long as you have someone else to point the finger
it makes you feel better.
Thank you.
It makes you feel better.
It's a coping mechanism.
This is a loser's mindset. You call
loser's mindset.
You call it a loser's mindset. I call it a coping mechanism.
That's fine.
Loser's mindset.
That's a loser's mindset.
I think I agree with the loser's mindset.
No, you can agree. I call it a coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's what y'all folks in psychology call it. But
You're not.
That's what y'all folks in psychology call it a defense mechanism, coping mechanism. That's fine. It's a loser's mindset because here's why.
Oh, okay. Is it being defensive in the sense that
you protect the ego
and the loser
to protect self? It's all about survival.
To protect the losing system.
To protect self.
So it's a loser's mindset.
If I have to take responsibility for all of the hurt, if I cannot point on you, the world, the universe, everything else, then that's a lot of burden to carry.
But here's the question.
So it's a system of deflection.
What success is there in that way of thinking? That it's always...
It helps you survive day to day. Well, now can you continue to live life your entire life like that?
But the
Is
question
it recommended? No. Have some people do it? Yes.
I love this.
Aren't we here to elevate folks above this idea of survival?
Yes.
I mean, whenever someone say I'm surviving, that means you're about to die.
Survive?
The term surviving to me is
you're dying.
You should be living. You should be moving. It's not barely surviving. So that's a loser's mindset,
I think I agree with the loser's mindset.
Because what it does not place responsibility on the individual. If it is not my responsibility, then I have nothing to do with it. So, m'te met pousser tête moi dégoûté. M'te met pas pousser tête moi 50 comme. Ti mari pas monter, ti mari pas descendre. Parce que son l'autre monde pas gagner pour moi avec. So mettre
en pile nan bagay qui rive moun yo, en pile nan bagay qui rive moun yo, li ka pa faute yo vrai. If you look at trauma,
it's
if
possible.
You look at certain things,
it's possible.
But the fact that you are... However, sou rete, the perpetrator, moun ki te fè, sa te fè, li genyen konsekans pa. We talk about consequences.
I understand.
Li genyen konsekans. But nou pa ka discount, again, the fact that, si yo moun, this is how I survive. It's all about survival. If I don't have all the right things in place, ecologically, environnement pa bom tout sa besoin.
But Dr. Pierre, let me go back to you on this because I agree with the loser's mindset, by the way. But here's the thing. My thing is, you say it's a survivor
defense mechanism.
I accept that.
But
I'm pretty sure we all have done it to one.
But you know what? I have
right.
pointed fingers at other people. But you know what? I always come back to myself, say, what responsibility do you play
in that?
Do you have something to do with it?
That's an ability not all of us have.
Well,
and we have to be clear about it.
that's all I'm saying.
Wait, Doug. That's the thing we're saying. We're trying to tell them you have a loser's mindset.
That's the purpose of the show.
Educate you.
That's the purpose. I'm trying to tell them it's okay to survive. It's okay to survive with what you have.
No. You cannot understand the losing system.
Can you stay in survival mode always? No. The goal is always from surviving to thriving. How do we better set them qui j'en nous mette en position to go from surviving to thriving?
Okay, that's fine. How long are you giving them this carte blanche to use this?
This is not a carte blanche.
Okay.
This is just reality.
How long are they, okay, reality.
As long as it takes the person.
Oh my God. So they're dying in the system.
That's exactly why we have politicians creating programs, because they know folks will never get out of those things. But those programs,
that's very unfortunate.
Because because you have the Al Sharpton of the world. You have the Al Sharpton of the world, the Jesse Jackson said that.
Am I there, Mrs.?
Oh, I thought you were Mrs. Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton.
Call it whatever you want to call it. People have to survive.
Here is my problem. We need to listen. I'm dead serious. I believe that. For me, I look at things from a godly perspective. Sometimes, theological.
Sometimes. I thought that's what you do.
No.
Sometimes.
No. Even God look at things from anthropological perspective. You got to look at it from the human perspective, because sometimes God says, "Look, I'm up there. I don't know. I don't think I quite understand what you're going through. Let me come down to your level so I can understand you."
Experienced it.
Experience you. So sometimes you look at it from a godly perspective above, or sometimes you have to look, like you said. I like what you said earlier. You didn't bring. I think you're gonna bring that up. You say I'm not Michelle Obama. Don't tell me to go higher when you go low.
No,
I'm gonna drop lower.
That's no such thing, my friend. No. I'm more Toussaint Louverture.
But God is saying, let me come down to that level to understand. So here's my thing. My thing is, you want to get them out of the system. The very first thing you want to do is to get them to understand, everyone, even
we got to shift their paradigm.
Shift, to say, look, this is unacceptable, okay? And you can do something about it. Now, they may say, well, I'm not quite sure what I want to do about it. But the very first thing is you need to realize that there is a problem. Now, I don't know if it was Einstein who said that 90% of what happened to us is I think 10%.
It's 90-10.
90-10, right? 90 is reaction, 10% is actually what actually happened and how we react to it. So the funny thing is, reaction has a lot. Our response to what happened to us has a lot to do with who we become and comment nous fait arriver côté arriver. So in our situation, a lot of time, what I see in my populations and with my people is this. And that goes with the black people in general. Black African American, they love to blame the white men for the problem.
It's not they love to blame. Those are the words when you guys play with.
They love to do it.
I feel that you are not women conscious of whatever those black people went through.
Oh, no.
It was real. It's not the love to...
Pierre, they love to do it. I agree.
Listen to what I'm saying.
To do it.
I'm not saying that. I'm not dismissing.
Is it legitimate? We can be very dismissive because we think
I'm not dismissing what I went through.
Yeah, listen, I'm a funny-looking guy from Haiti with a funny accent. If America wanted to give a PhD, you think they'll find a Negro from Frontenac to give a PhD to? Wherever you're from, do you think that's what they'll do? What I'm saying, I'm not saying this. America is not a racist country. America is racist. It is what it is. It's as racist. Racism is to America as apple pie is to America. Same thing.
As if Haitians are not racist.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying to you.
Here's what I'm saying to you. So,
Pierre, vous connaissez, en vain, l'impossible. Pour non système, pour pas chercher qu'on règle système là. Parce que règle système là, il marche pour tout le monde qui veut jouer par règle.
Whose responsibility is it to teach règle système là?
Oh no.
You think people teach?
People teach you the rules.
People teach you the rules.
It's natural.
Capitalistic society. You think I'm gonna teach you how to make money? How African Americans been here for how long? Hundreds of years.
400 plus years.
Okay, it's simple. What do you need to understand? It is a system that is controlled by money.
Okay.
Don't we have money? If Black America was a nation, that would be the 14th best economy, largest economy in the world. What does that tell you? There is money in the African community, African American community. They have money. Now, that's your problem if you spend your dollar at the mall and I spend my dollar at the stock market. That's a choice you make.
Well, that's another
But if you buy a pair, if you go buy a $200 pair of Nike,
generated going back to the master.
if you buy a $200 pair of Nike and I buy 2 stocks for my $200, that's your problem.
Elder, I mean, dog, we have a bigger problem.
But let's go back
Here's
to
the problem.
let's get there.
We need somebody to come and teach us. That's what you say, right? Okay, I agree. We need somebody to teach us, to tell us what to do.
Or even the difference between teaching and training.
Training, okay.
Nous faisons tout dans l'école, teaching, you get to college, higher education, and then you get to a job training.
Here is my problem.
It does not become a white, America is a racist country. There's no question. We're going to talk about that more.
Yeah, we will bring up the subject of racism. Eventually we'll talk about it. But
the poor white guy has the same problem the poor black guy has.
I like where you're going with this. So what is that problem?
The problem is they don't expose you. You got the worst school. You go to Miami-Dade County Public School, there might be 2 different school systems. Depends on your zip code. It is what it is. Now, what needs to happen, your mom can find a way instead of, like I said, the resource is there. There's money.
What if your mom does not know how to get that resource?
Well, but you could know that your child, you could go and you go to parents. When you go to the school, you could see that they have no computer. I went to Miami Edison, one of the worst school this nation has to offer. So no one is gonna school me about bad.
Go back to something you just said. You just say when I go there, I can see they have computer. Let me bring something into this conversation on top of that to say that okay, we need to educate. And I think I'm saying something that for you can benefit from it and pass it on to your kids and future generation. You just say something that is very important that Sutaptande. I can see that they have it. Observation. And I think we lost our sense of observation to learn from just by observing. And watch this. Ben Carson.
Ben Carson loves his soul. But that's a
Ben
different.
Carson.
Yeah, don't care for him much.
Wait. Listen.
Mine is his politics.
No.
Go.
You don't care about his politics.
Yeah. I don't care
about his politics. But the man was a bright mind.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him though.
No. Politics not his. But as a neurosurgeon, he's a genius. Watch this. What did he tell you about how he become who he became? His mother. Well, funny enough, his mother didn't have a great education. Remember when he told us?
Every single one of. Well, I don't want to say every single one of us here.
A lot of
That's my story.
That's my story. But remember when he said his mother would put pressure on him, study. We said, oh no, you don't know it, go back and do it again. But then he thought his mother was a genius. Mm-hmm. Until later he's going to learn. Lady didn't know anything about this stuff. But she observed. She's a natural person without good training, but she observed those who were making it. Watch. She was learning through experiences that those who are doing it. Listen, my parents, those who are listening to me, not ashamed to tell you, my parents could be listening, and probably my mom is listening right now. They didn't finish no high school.
My grandfather didn't know how to read or write.
Oh, my grandfather.
Nor did my
all my grandparents didn't know how to read. None of them know how to read. Mm-hmm. If they say I have to find a mosquito
but make no mistake. These people, the smartest things I've ever seen.
Because they're natural smart.
These people are the smartest. And I know, Mumbai, when I go over, I know.
Are you serious?
These people are smartest.
Mama,
they know economics.
You
can profit.
Do they now?
Est-ce que son bagay ki nan yo? Est-ce que c'est environnement yo? Est-ce que c'est moun yo te gen yo te wè ki jan ki
Here's what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to make is that
they didn't blame anyone. They realized that the
responsibility
was. I know that.
No. They were taking charge. They didn't have the knowledge to know. I have to find someone to blame. They just naturally. My grandfather, from my father's side, he knew from piquer la terre pour manger.
That's it.
He knew.
It's a biblical principle.
It's a biblical principle. So he did it on his own. In fact, growing up,
it is a biblical principle.
We have drifted away from the Bible so far. But that's another conversation.
No. It is a biblical principle.
It is. I'm not
remember now in Romans chapter 20, what did he say? He said that everything you need to know concerning life, concerning God, concerning you, how to live, has been made available to you in nature. You don't need anyone to teach you this stuff. By the way, the knowledge will come to you naturally. If you just sit there and relax, you will know what to do. Because God made it available to you. The resources. Warren Buffett.
Equally? Is it equally?
Equally.
Well,
give me a minute. Doc, she's sister equally. Warren Buffett. You know Warren Buffett, right?
I know
Not
him.
really,
I don't
but-
know him.
I
know
I've
him.
heard.
If I knew him, I would.
You
Non
know.
pas c'est bon la kaya. Celle là qui pas côté moi. Regarde Victor Hugo visite souvent, mais Victor Hugo pas 5 comme
Non, Victor Hugo son charlatan ça psychologie.
Oh non, pas charlatan moi.
Psychologie.
Ah non.
Philosophe,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Moi ça t'a parlé.
Moi aussi le télé.
Pas de t'as parlé Negua Freud.
Freud qui charlatan?
Negua.
Wow. You should be insulted. Yeah.
Non, venez pour lui. Là,
When
commence à parler de
you come
l'église.
after my
Là,
theologians,
commence à parler
guys,
de l'église là.
now
Ben
watch
non.
this. You guys, when you want to come after the theologians,
No.
you're charlatan. But when you're
never-
psychologist,
I never get
Freud was one of the best minds who ever existed on the planet
We
Earth.
never say théologien c'est charlatan. Mon paquet de pasteur à l'église c'est
The
charlatan.
theologian, but the theologian.
À des théologues.
By definition, the
Théologien, ça c'est
Come
mon
on,
cas
come on,
l'apprendre.
no,
Le
yes,
métier.
No.
Théologien.
That we come back to that.
C'est mon
By
cas
the way,
l'apprendre.
by the way, let me say this.
Théologien,
Ready,
c'est un
I'm going
métier.
to drop a bomb. You're a theologian.
Well,
Ah.
you might call
Let's
what you want to
go
call
back
it.
to-
I'm
Let's
not
go back
calling you whatever I call you. That's what you are. You are a theologian too.
He studied theology.
No, it does not.
listen.
You don't. Okay, that's a different conversation.
I've done a lot of personal research
Who do
into
that? Let me-
no, I do a lot of research into religion.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you there's a lot of pastors I've done 10 times more research than them. Okay?
That I
So we
agree.
cannot
I agree.
les moun sa me référer à charlatan.
Okay.
Même pas un monde qui like you,
We'll
m'a
come back
référer
to
à
that.
un charlatan.
We'll come back to that. So, anyway,
Qu'est-ce que mon yo dit?
Satan ou bien est-ce que c'est Satan ou bien monde?
the reality of it is based on what both of you are saying, and both are psychologists. Obviously, you understand the mind, the motivation, the internal, the external motivation. We all touch bases on that, and we talked about motivation before in previous shows. We don't understand that there must be something inside of you that wants to change.
It has to be.
There must be something. So therefore, the blaming, it is easier to blame Satan.
Or blame somebody, whatever that Satan is.
Easier to blame Satan. You know, I
Or
hear
the
people,
system.
I hear people calling me. They want you to, well, my marriage is not working. I got you. What is wrong with your marriage? Oh man, Satan got into it.
Satan vini.
What? So the husband is slapping you. Satan got into it.
No, he's
You're
abusive.
cursing him out. Oh, Satan got into it.
You fréquent.
Yeah. When are you going to look at yourself and say, oh, maybe I am the Satan to the other person? By the way, your definition of Satan, the biblical definition, the word in Hebrew is ha-satan.
But we need to
Ha-satan means anything that is adversary is a Satan. So you can be in this, if you're against me, you're pushing against me, against a system.
I can be your Satan right now.
You can be a ha-satan to me, an adversary to me. Or if you look at the yin-yang of the Chinese concept, anything that is opposite, and then so if it works as a
la
Satan to the
tradition vaudou
other.
ou gen loi fret ou gen loi chaud.
Bon, bon.
Non, ça c'est ça. M'abdou, juste abdou.
So
Pas, même en
your
parlant de-
question is it the question Olivia? Is it me or is it Satan?
It's the individual.
And,
Okay?
Okay,
It's
so
même
give him some
wal nan
explanation.
la Bible passe. Ou songe James, Apostle James, that's Jacques, pas vrai? James. Okay. Jacques, lo wè ki jan komanse épître de Jacques là. Li salye tout et ou songe l te écrit lettre là à les 12 tribus. Li salye yo, li di kon ça, find it as a pure joy when you come through trials and
And
tribulations.
Consider it pure joy.
Consider it pure joy. Et comme ça, apôtre là ouvri chapitre là. Le regardez Paul avec Jacques, il travaille une autre complété. Ça veut dire Paul parlait de la foi, Jacques parlait des œuvres. Ça veut dire the œuvres is what the human being must do. Since you want to stay biblically in the biblical arena, we stay there. Paul talks about the faith. Faith, that's where God comes in. But regardez toute bagay dans la Bible là, the works have to meet the faith. Okay? So now, logon pour un peuple qui dit comme ça, c'est pas la foi simplement, pas la foi simplement.
You have a problem.
You have a problem.
Yeah.
because you're missing the works.
Mais qui côté moun sa ou peuple sa te apprendre ça?
Well,
Est-ce que c'est ça l'Église a conseillé?
Well-
Est-ce que c'est ça they've come to know?
Well-
Did they experience some sort of learned helplessness
Well-
from the very systems who supposed to
exactement. Et ça que fait nous toujours parler l'Église. L'Église a une responsabilité pour décoloniser mon Dieu parce que the church has been an ally of colon.
So let me ask you
So-
a question.
so-
Let me a question,
so
though.
give me-
So-
give
so
me
by
one second.
Colon. Yeah,
Give
go
me
ahead.
one second.
Go very important.
Ça pour nous comprendre, mesdames et messieurs. You're going to have your opinion. It is what it is. I've been called a lot of things. Some of the best titles, some of the worst. But through it all, I have found peace. And that's the bottom line for me. So the church must be active in that process as well, Dr. Pierre. Pour vous montrer individu, ou gagne un rôle pour jouer dans le succès, ou gagne un rôle pour jouer dans l'échec. Là, un bagay pas passé bien dans tête, dans la vie.
Very good, very good.
Nan un bagay pas
I
passé
like
bien
this,
dans la
I like
vie.
this, I like this.
Premier côté pour garder, c'est ou même.
Inward.
OK?
Introspection.
That's the first place you need to look at. Parce que dans tout bagay négatif, il y a un bagay positif pour apprendre là-dedans. The folks in Washington, they always say, don't ever let a good crisis go to waste.
It's always a learning
But
opportunity.
there's always opportunities in crisis. You will always, wap toujours manquer opportunité sous braquer sous tout l'autre monde qui ça a été fait ou pas garder ça ou pas fait. Moun an gen un rendez-vous à 7h, li quitte la Cali à 6h45, li connaît besoin 30 minutes pour arriver, li pas arriver le doit Satan fait pas arriver, Satan de mettre un paquet de chèques sur route, li fait pas arriver. Qui ça Satan gen pour avec ça? Ou en retard ou irresponsable. Et ça qu'il faut pas arriver à l'heure. Donc c'est ça pour nous garder.
I think, you know, well said. Is it me or is it the devil? I think what you say is so important. We need to look at ourselves. We need to look at ourselves. Now, I'm not saying those external forces are not acting on us. Sure, they are.
They will
acting
be
on us.
ever present.
But we are
Ever present.
Africans.
Yeah, they will
We
be
are Africans.
ever present.
We are Africans. You know
Ever
what that
present.
means? They were sisters. M'pape m'pa krent. Ça ka vem nan pi fort que ça ka méchant. Force yo voye pour tuer m'nan. M'gen assez pour m'capable overcome that strength. We are Christians as well. So are we gonna live by those words, or are we just gonna use them when we want to collect the offerings?
So
What
here's-
are we doing?
Here's my question, and both of you can. I actually want both of you to give your opinion on this. I don't remember the statistic last time I was checking the CIA Book of Record on Haiti. Man, I can't forget
Kote
it.
ay se baga.
But here's it. The statistic they posted is how many of the population is illiterate. Kipagali. Okay, so that means that
Qui est-ce kote yon statistique la? ONG yon fait
they
statistique.
give you something. They give you
ONG
something.
yon pas vrai.
But
Gouvernement pas fait
do
rien.
you agree that there's a lot? Okay,
Yeah,
let's
there's
go
a
by
lot.
that. Is there a majority, according to the statistic,
Yo pa ka li
there's,
lang bagay.
there's a majority qui pa li français, qui pa
Yo pa li français, créole ou bien espagnol.
They're illiterate.
Mais yo kon li.
You got la vie.
Yo ka li la li nan. Yo li soleil la.
So stay with
Yo
me.
kon di le.
Stay with me. So my question to you is, clearly it's a problem of education. We all agree to that. It's a problem of education. And this is where I agree with you that the church has a major role to play, because our role, the church's role is to educate the people, to get them to understand, to see, and become aware so they can make changes. So where do we go from here? I mean, what? Not just the church, by the way. I think the entire society, because you have a majority qui pas kon li ki illiterate, et puis qu'on a un petit groupe qui connaît petit bagay, and then they hold them hostage. They're holding them, they're controlling them, and they're taking advantage of those who cannot read and to keep them in the system so that they cannot even, they don't even know what to do, and those who know what to do are not telling them what to do because they want to keep them there because it benefits them. So where do we go from here?
Paz, to answer your question, and you know it, I've started this battle years ago when I was 22 years old, young college graduate. I wrote my first book, Cutting the Shackles of Mental Occupation.
I still got a copy.
Uncouper chaîne
Unsigned, by the way.
Uncouper chaîne occupation mentale. Premier et chapitre dans le livre là, on dit yon let de yon nèg noir à l'autre nèg noir. A letter from a black man to black man, where I address some of the stuff that is killing us collectively as men. So what must we do? We must transfer boys to men. Okay? And how does that work? Discipline. It's not a question of how much money that you're making today. How much can you save of what you make so you can buy your freedom? Because there will be some slaves in the next system as well, in this current system. The question becomes, can you get enough money to buy your freedom from the system? And that's what is important. We're talking now. That's part of the mission. Chaque monde enseigne yon monde. If you have somebody at your place, at your house or your job or wherever, si vous voulez, ou y a fait mauvaise décision, you can have those conversations with them. Hey, you gotta sacrifice. Sacrifice. Don't worry about buying the Nike shoes. Maybe buy a stock. And that stock could help you become financially free. And that financial freedom can help you buy some politician, because politician at the end of the day, that's what it is. You go to there's a supermarket where you ask yourself, how much can I pay for this one? And then you buy the politicians. So if you have financial freedom, you'll be able to get political freedom. By political freedom, the judges will make decision in your favor, because the judge will remember who gave me that $1 million check when I wanted to become a judge. The senators will do the same thing. Okay?
So the
question becomes, is Black America as one of the, like I said, if American wa, si yo ta un pays, yo ta 14 pays qui gagne plus et pouvoir économique. Ça veut dire, les regarder tout l'argent yo gagne. Question à demander, est-ce que Black America est capable d'utiliser et pouvoir financer ça, même genre white America has been using that financial power? The Jews are a minority, but they control a lot.
Control a lot?
Why?
Financial power.
They have that financial. The same thing for Judaism.
No. When we're talking about financial power, sometimes it's so easy again to kind of be condescending.
I'm not. I take exception to that word.
Sometimes it can be easy. Now we're talking about Jewish. We're talking about the white people. One thing we've failed to realize: this is what's called old money and new money. A lot of those communities that are thriving, they have that old money. Old money, that's that generational money.
I understand.
That's that generational. So again, depuis moun sa yo fait dans système yo, dans communauté yo get an gen yon avantage. Est-ce que nous-mêmes, we playing catch up? This economy, you said Black America, we would be 14e dans liste dans pays si yo te wè nou comme propre pays pa nou, because everything is being built on our backs. They give it some type of fancy title,
you know
but we cannot compare apples. We have to compare apples to apples, not apples and oranges. So we haven't had the same opportunities to be prosperous as those people. So old money and new money, we can. Maybe our kids won't have to do what we had to do.
But look at the Haitians. Haitians start coming here, 1982, first boat people. When did we come?
Since the 70s,
okay.
But there was a huge...
Okay, yeah. I think for a tribe that's only been here for about whatever years, we
progress very well.
We're doing well.
Very well.
Oh,
collectively.
Exceptionally
well. If you see the stats, if you see the stats.
No, I'm saying.
Exceptionally
well. Look at the medical doctors, you know.
We're doing exceptionally well. Exceptionally well.
We're doing well.
So you telling me that Michael Jordan cannot hire the same financial guy that the Jews are hiring? You telling me that LeBron James cannot?
He can, because...
Okay, it's like from Titande. We want Cap to have a job. And let me tell you, if Black players in the NFL wanted Colin Kaepernick to have a job, they should know how to use their power to get them in a job. Okay? Because how can you tell me 80% of the players are us?
No, they kept them out.
Because there's no collectivism.
Okay, so don't say it's a question of they don't know. They choose to become a lot of things. Here's what happened, my dear. We need to understand, when you take the elevator must go back down, because there's a bunch of Negroes down there that need to go up as well. A lot of niggas, once they get that elevator, they stay up and keep that elevator up. Here's what happened. Education must be used to help the lowest members of society. Wealth must be used as well to elevate the tribe. But what happens for us a lot of time, we use education and richness, I don't say wealth, to humiliate those members of our tribe that do not have the education that we have or
Again,
the financial power
côté
that we
comportement ça
have.
sorti.
Well, but we can emancipate ourselves now. We know enough. We having this conversation.
But
Dr. Du Bois talked about those things a long time ago. Naeem Akbar, which is my mentor from Florida State, former president of the Association of Black Psychologists, talked about those things all the time. Those things are there. Okay? Why can't they have their own NFL team? They have enough money between MJ, P. Diddy, and all these guys.
so
Why not?
where do the Haitians who are living in Haiti fit into this conversation?
Well, l'homme vaut $50 ba ou. Au lieu d'obtenir des semaines pour dire qu'on le $50 ba ou, manger $10, $40 à chercher pour sou ka acheter un petit poule. La petit poule là, I guarantee you. Petit poule ça, la vie fonzé. Before you know it, what gon business is because Haiti was buying eggs from the Dominican Republic, not even the good ones. Okay? So before you know it, ou ka vin gon petit poule à pour ba nan zone tout. Comme ça tout petit poule ça ka vin bon bœuf, qu'on yo vin vendre lait dans zone. Now you don't have to ask that person for another $50.
So I'm hearing
we covered that on the last one of the
starting
shows.
small.
Yeah.
Starting small with the individual, starting small.
I did, Pierre.
But
I went to
no,
bed
when
when
you
I
say-
did what I'm doing to you right now.
You give me a formula. Remember when we were talking a long time ago? Say, listen, always start with the
What you have.
with what you have, with the
What you are,
least
yeah.
to do the maximum you can, so you can expand and do things later. But this is something that we're talking about that.
Si yon la for you,
so
ou commerce l'eau.
so pense que communauté haïtienne n'a perdu,
Are you
but
on the line?
avant, I'm coming to that. Avant, communauté haïtienne était vraiment comprendre le concept ça. Me songe les petits moun dans Haïti, petit moun. Depuis que moun yo gon ti kop ki tombe nan main, au premier bagay, il achète un cabrit.
Oh.
Ou bien achète un bœuf.
Okay.
Ou bien j'on dit achète un poule. Ou bien il achète des mamies de poids, il a lagué non la terre pour capable reproduire encore. So yo te quoi dans reproduction, yo te quoi dans prendre son gagnant, son
Yes,
capable
what you
ou
have.
faire. And bon son bagay. Grand-papa me fait des années, il pas jamais bon good dans poche li. But funny, he was one of the most stable guy in the community. Why? Li gen plusieurs têtes bœuf. There is a barter system.
Qu'on dit pas papier, les petits mi, elle fait pitumi,
Yeah.
les maïs, elle fait maïs.
Voilà.
Et puis tout le monde mange.
But guess what? They use a barter system where you échange l'huile, l'autre n'a venu avec sac poili. Bon, ma pas mon bagage. Il y a pas c'est l'huile étrangère, non? Ou qu'on qui l'huile, il fait l'huile coco, yeah,
Normalement.
pour faire manger. So, and they never need money.
Ça,
to
c'est moun qui
survive.
t'a vivre en communauté.
Yeah, yon fè
Si
l'huile,
gen du,
l'autre
yon
bay
kote
d'huile,
du,
l'autre
yon
bay
gen
pois,
pois,
la ka grand-papa pa jam manke manger all kind of food because communauté yo partage.
Non, they
They
get-
don't need money to go buy.
So the resource is there.
Non,
The
des
resources
grâce à
are
nous
there.
arriver là, can we go back to that type of living?
Well,
Is that
then
even
you have a
possible?
choice. Die or go back. That's the choice you have. Go yon ki pi mal toujours passe.
You know what?
Moun ap leve nan zone nan, what happened?
No, you can keep talking.
Gen yon ti pi mal toujours.
Excuse me, because I have to, you can keep talking,
Mona-
but they're going to look at the blank screen. I'll be right back.
Moun ap leve nan zone nan, li pa ganyen. Alors, gran monte kon gon tem ni rele, alors mpa kon kout gran moun yo te jwen tem sa, gran monte kon di sa son juif errant. Mpa kon kote gran moun yo te kon jwen tem sa. Un juif errant, moun ki pa ganyen même, li di moun sa pa gen office même. Ou kon sa yo fait, Dr. Pierre? Yo konen gen un citoyen nan zone nan gen un grandon nan zone nan, ou kon sa yo fait pas?
En grandon.
On grandon moun ki
Yes,
gen
sir.
te. Yal
Yes,
kote
sir.
moun nan, yo di ban moun bœuf gade pour ou. Yo pran bœuf là, yo gade yo bal manger. Bœuf la vinil vin plein. Ça c'est bagay moun an de yo. Nou mettre le moun an de yo. I don't care. Why do I care at this stage of life? Bagay moun an de yo. Okay? You gade bœuf là, Dr. Pierre. Bœuf la pas pour yo, but you take care of the bœuf. Okay? Once they take care of the bœuf, once the bœuf become plein, les bœuf la vin plein, chaque passé, et yo dit premier porte c'est pour mettre bœuf là, premier petit là, mettre bœuf là dit, deuxième petit là, c'est pour vous. Yo garde 3 bœufs pour 3 différents mondes. Passe. Bœuf c'est même chaque monde, il fait petit même chaque monde. Après 1 an, bien 9, peut-être 9 mois,
C'est 9 mois.
yo gen 3 bœufs pour yo même. Côté bœuf là sorti, yo te gardé bœuf là pour moun nan. Ou tande ça m'dou là?
Absolument.
Yo gen pas gen terre. Gon moun qui dit mais yo gen courage. Ça c'est ressource ou parler ya. Okay? That's what America is about. America is about be creative. Yo pas gen terre, mais yo gen courage. Ou même qui gen te a Dr Pierre, m'dou bon travail te a pour. C'est soit payer parce que me travail te a ou bien ou bon une portion dans récolte ou fait a. Là bon une portion dans récolte ou fait a, ça me fait me vendre même continuer travail te a pour jusqu'à ce que me fait l'argent m'acheter te pam.
Qui système nous pensez qui vini en place qui fait perdre toute essence ça ou nous te gagné?
Well, because what happened, Haïtien, tout bagay qui sorti dans l'étranger, qui sorti dans mes Satan, li dit c'est le plus bon qui s'acte dans mes là. Là nous te gen cochon créole qui s'est passé. Satan vini, li dit comme ça que cochon créole là, c'est li pour touyer, li pas bon. Li a introduit un cochon blanc. Cochon blanc, c'est son de blé manger. Cochon créole a mangé pour banane. Mais li vin titio, mais c'est ou même qui pour te connaître. Cochon blanc pour ban moyen, I would not be able to maintain that cochon. Parce que son de blé qui est-ce qui vend son de blé? C'est blanc là sorti. Banane à côté sorti. C'est dans la nature.
Why he always points back to the system?
But because I want you have Dr. Pierre, ou pas qu'à le système, ou pas qu'à fonctionner.
We can talk in circle, but we always eventually come back.
But what I'm saying is the individual must understand the system if you want to find success in that system. Now, if I go to China right now, I'm gonna stay and watch the system, how it goes before I go in. Même Jacques Haïti, son système raqueté, pour me succès là-dedans, faut me chercher contre qui j'en pour me raqueter tout. Si je pas qu'à faire comme ça, ma victime. Ou pas captain that African American is on this system, you're still saying that the system is this, the system is that. When are you going to take some time, sit your butt down and learn that darn system, because the system is not white, the system is not black, the system is for those who understand how to play the game. Learn how to play the damn game.
I mean, by the way, I'm gonna be able to come help you with the technology because we got a freezing going on. But okay, so let's go back to that. Let's get some rapid fire, I call it, so that we're not gonna go too much because so much that is being said here. I think they're valuable. So I'm gonna rotate between the two of you so you can comment on that. Yeah, thank you so much. You wanna handle that? We're almost finished, so you can handle that. Thank you. So, let me go invite one of our friends who's always on the chat and talking to us about what's going on. Kwame, and Kwame said, success is the fulfillment and the completion of a purpose for which you were created, and it's not competition with others. Again, success, c'est l'accompli, yon but que bon Dieu te créé pour lui, que vous sentez c'est pour ça que vous t'es créé, sans que vous pas besoin de faire compétition avec qui ce soit. Dr. Pierre?
I'd agree. That's why I said success was subjective. There's no white standard lines that says this is success. We all create success the way we know how, the way we want to, and my success looks differently than your success. So as long as we can agree to that, we can start creating our own successes or success stories, not necessarily waiting on one standard definition of this is what I must look like to be
philosophical
successful.
concept. We can.
So, but I won't bring that to you because I think that was going back to what you were saying earlier. But I'm coming to you. Here's yours. The house Negro in Haiti is the Franco-Mulatto elite in Haiti. The elite in Haiti are the new colonizer of Haiti. They are mediators of the racist Western system.
Well, their job is to maintain the job of the master. They are placed there for a specific reason. You have Ariel Henry, you have a lot of the guys who are there. They have to kill the house Negro, and then they have to, Jovenel was part of the system as well. Jovenel, toward the end, he
tried to deviate from the system.
By the time he realized that.
That's what killed him.
Exactly.
That's part of the reason why that's his business. That's what killed him. But yes, I agree that the house that's what America, guys, Américains toujours planté monde en dans système pour capable servir intérêt. The ambassador just left Haiti recently. He said, "Hey, that's my job. My job is to represent the interests of the United States."
Clear.
That's not a problem. The question becomes when the Haitian ambassador is not defending the interests of Haiti. That's what the problem becomes, because the Haitian ambassador happens to be a house Negro who just, most of the time they don't deserve the job. They just give the job to them because of someone they know power in. And then Master promised them to give him a Mercedes or Zoe en Haïti. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rotation.
Don't get me started.
Dr. Pierre. Ça t'en tout partout, mais pour qui ça Haïti va la va plus mal?
Parce que il a fait le rete. I help you on that one.
My colleague just answered for me. Is it c'est la rete ou bien, again, I'm going back to system, your designer, where we have people with the learned helplessness ou pas capable, yo toujours mettre une série de idées dans tête ou you can't, c'est pas comme ça t'es toujours fait, li pas jamais qu'a fait. Depuis ou penser comme ça, ou toujours joindre tête ou non corner côté que ou penser tout ça qui pas aller bien pour c'est Satan, que c'est Satan le diable, que c'est Satan system. So we have got to start thinking of on capability. Penser que we are nous moun takou tout moun, nous gagne capacité, nous ka faire une série de bagailles si nous choisissons pour nous penser autrement.
By the way, I think that's why a lot of African Americans are disappointed with Barack Obama. I think when Barack Obama became president, they felt like, oh, we have arrived. This Negro becomes president of the United States now. But they misunderstand. I mean, I have my political differences with Obama, philosophical differences, whatever it is, what it is. But I also understand what he means for the psychology of Negroes around the world. What we should have understood is that if this Negro could become president of the United States, then I can become the clinical director of this hospital. That's what it should mean. If this Negro can become president, I could become president of the conference.
That's correct.
That's what it should mean. But I think they saw it as, oh, now we have arrived, more food stamps or for whatever. It doesn't work that way. Obama is more white than he's black. So that's what they failed to understand.
Okay. So let's go back. So, Gemba m'a dit, ma pensée a dit, Haïtien besoin de lavage cerveau. D'accord, avec 100% qui Haïtien besoin de lavage cerveau. Non, lavage.
Parce que de lavage, c'est non.
Il besoin de rééduquer.
Au contraire, Haïti comme ça, il y a pressure, il y a
pressure clean.
Pressure clean. Non, mais il y a un monde qui est intéressant, n'importe dans nos cas pour ça, ça va pointer.
Allez, Dr Pierre.
OK, il dit en Haïti côté un monde, OK, bon tas. Mon a dit, bon m'interpréter. Thank you so much. Mon a dit, bon en Haïti, je vois un monde qui a 50 ans. Comme il dit, ma baoud, je pense que c'est un peu bon pour.
OK, I'll take it.
Non, ma baoud. En Haïti, il y a 50 ans, Dr Pierre. Et puis qui touche marcher dans la rue, mais ça me bague maman, bague papa pour aider. 50 ans plus tard, bague maman, bague papa pour aider. Et tell me, something is wrong with this person, right?
In psychology, I think we call it self-fulfilling prophecy. Côté que y a une série de false beliefs, moun yo mette dans tête moun, sou pa gen maman, sou pa gen papa, ou pa bjan mayen, sou pa l'on pa bjan bagay, ou même ou si tellement kwe those false social narratives, you operate in those false narratives. Therefore, si que ou pensez que sans maman, sans papa, you cannot make it. Côté tant que Dr Belizaire so dit, madame moun pou ka travail la terre pour li, al chiye machine moun, there's stuff that you can do. Slowly qui ka aider tête ou sorti, mais si que on dit ti moun ki pa gen maman, ti moun ki pa gen papa, ou juste rete au chita dans la rue ou pop si on moun passe met ton bagay pour, that's what you're going to act out. Et lo act that out ou continuer à quitter le système de régénérer tête li tout petit monde sans maman sans papa soit moun abusé ou bien rete dans la rue pas jamais essayer faire. What I heard Dr Belizaire said, and he said it so beautifully, we can start small. Ou pas besoin grande chose pour qu'à start, but pour nous-mêmes nous c'est tellement gon mentalité parfois si nous commencer gros nous petit en vin insignifiant, so thereby we become stuck. Nous stock dans système côté que moun qui pa gen maman, qui pa gen papa rete dans la rue for 50 years. What a waste.
Et pas seul ça passe. Ou pas de pour parler à haïtien, le gouvernement pas offrir nous rien.
Gouvernement pas offrir. Again, you
go back to that.
There's always someone to blame. There's someone to put.
C'est ça le gouvernement doit faire pour peuple. C'est créer un environnement pour mal créer peut-être moi.
Voilà.
That's all I need. I don't need government to do anything else for me.
C'est notre pays qui organise nos pays tant qu'au Haïti. We've been taught that c'est le gouvernement qui supposé faire
but so we need to change that mindset.
Hold on, Dr. Pierre.
The government is not going to work the land.
Let me kind of disagree a little bit. I mean, well, yeah, from a human perspective.
The government has a responsibility
I agree.
to create
from
an
a human
environment of
perspective,
security.
Right? If you take it from a godly perspective, that the same, I agree with you with what you say, even if you look at it from a godly perspective, that God created Adam and Eve, placed him in the garden. God already created the atmosphere for him to succeed. Say, go and cultivate the land. Do what you do. Work.
But who are pass? The individuals say that gouvernement pas faire rien moins. Gouvernement dit comme ça international, communauté internationale pas faire rien pour moi. Les nouvelles convertis, nous dit comme ça c'est bon Dieu n'a pas pour faire bagay pour nous. Nous rester là.
No. Bon Dieu, here's the problem. Everything we need to succeed, bon Dieu fait pour déjà.
Mais pour ça bon Dieu gagne sous tête les messieurs.
The last thing you wanted to do for you, eternal life. You want eternal life. You want eternal life. He did it for you already.
That's it.
So there's nothing left for God to do for. He done it all already.
Even the verse.
He gave you eternal life. He made it available to you. The land available to you. The universe available to you. Oxygen available to you. Anything you need to survive and to live, he made it, including live eternally, he made it available. But he done it already.
That's what he said.
He's not going to do it.
God promised that in the Bible. It says, I shall provide your need. He never said anything about your wants.
Your need.
Your need. So God is going to give you shelter. It's going to give you the air to survive. But you're going to have to, the things that you want, you're going to have to go get it.
Now, get that point. But attendez bien. N'importe non. We must establish empowerment programs. Nous devons établir programme pour aider
pour mon autonome.
Pour mon autonome, ou bien pour nous donner force, ou bien pour nous donner courage, du courage. Pour que commencer avec les églises. Pour nous faire
this beautiful person.
Alphabétisation, on passe de la petite pasteur. Alphabétisation et high school ou bien lycée, compléter
I wouldn't even go there.
Too much. Collège, il y a un genre de bagages ça. Et pour nous éduquer financièrement, pour nous éduquer aussi des racines, par exemple.
What I would add to that, there's too much education in there. We need training.
Or retraining.
We need training.
Yeah, we need to train.
And then Saoki educate maybe retrain them.
Good luck on those.
We've been education. When you're done avec education.
What about training?
While travail not feel no, they no longer call it education. They call it training. Which is the actual doing. The actual doing.
Okay.
Are they willing to be retrained?
Maybe, like you said, we don't need to be educated. We need to be trained.
I don't think we need all this. We need to kill a few of them. No, seriously.
Pastor B.
Next.
No, I'm serious.
Don't listen to that.
Give me a second.
Mute him, please.
Give me a second.
Next.
Parce que, mes amis, bon me dire bagay. Moun qui pas kon li écran Haïti, c'est pas les mêmes qui problème Haïti. C'est soi-disant ça que dit yo philosophie. C'est ça que dit comme ça yo la bourgeoisie. Moun sa yo papa chita devant pour yo retrain. They need to be killed. An example need to be made out of them, and they will realize that if they don't follow the right path, they will be killed.
Let me go back to let me skip the killing part. You're the Moses guy who say, "Who are the tribes who are gonna stick with me?"
No,
and go
God
kill
said, "I'm a God of war."
We don't
God
all have to to serve.
We're not there yet. We're almost done.
We are okay. Let's go. Hurry up.
Here's one. Once the Negroes get up there, they often fear that other Negroes are out to get them. We'll still form them.
I agree.
So what do? They go outside of the Negro circle to get somebody else to manage the money to deal with.
That's exactly what I said.
You say you agree to that?
I agree.
Tell me about the Negro
Ou elle a fait toute conférence Montana, accord Montana, au contraire, ça fait? Because I met the guy. Là, il y a le Louisiane, accord Louisiane. Parce que il n'y a pas quoi. They didn't trust the Negroes that they were negotiating over in Montana avec tout accord. You are Louisiane, they vient get accord Louisiane. Pour yon tourner Haïti accord Louisiane pour gouverner Haïti. Il pas fait sens. Ça mon dit il fait un pile sens. The Negro won't trust the Negro.
So Negroes don't trust Negroes.
And they have reasons not to trust the Negro.
I'm so glad you say that. You say they have reason not to trust the Negro.
Well, yeah.
Now, you remember a big session?
Documented.
I don't want to go back now. I don't have a short memory, but I remember we have a session here when we talked about trust as an issue.
Well, yeah, but we also talk.
We cannot be blind
Now I just learned that the Negro has reason not to trust the Negro.
I think what you're doing right now, you should not do it.
Because
the Bible even talked about context of things. We just talked about James and Paul,
I didn't say
faith
anything.
and
I'm
works.
not saying anything. I'm saying the Negro has reason not to trust the Negro.
What we did say in that session, trust must be built. I even went back to Ronald Reagan. Trust but verified. With the Negro, chaque fois qu'on est depuis...
Negro has no reason to trust a Negro.
Bon, me demande une question. Dans toute l'église haïtienne, on passe bâtissons le temple. Pourquoi ça fait beaucoup bâtissons le temple?
Parce que Negroes don't trust Negroes.
Et parce qu'il n'y a pas l'argent? Haïtien pas l'argent? Il n'y a pas de trust. Pourquoi ça fait pas de trust? Parce que les pasteurs a monté en l'air, il dit comme ça, c'est lui-même qui seul coq chanter, il pas qu'on est fort faire une réunion pour le cap transparent avec mon yo, pour y avoir un budget, pour dire mais combien comme nous ramasser, mais combien bagaille. So why would I give my money? I cannot trust that Negro. Until you show me, give me reason to trust you, then I will not trust you.
You guys are going far. If you look at, especially in the, Haitian community, African American, well, a lot of stars, a lot of people who've made it big, who decides to stay in their community, they ended up dead.
Yes. They're trying to keep it real. You know that.
Yeah, yo rete dans communauté. So, nous gen raison pour ne pas fin si tellement fier moun trop.
You gotta, be careful with this.
However, when it has to do with colorism, let's say parce que m'pa ka trust ou parce que pour un petit genre noir tant kou m'a parlé côté moun pour un petit genre pi blanc, maybe they are more trustworthy. That's where it's problematic.
I think it's a problem when I dismiss you just because the way you look. If I dismiss you because you have a record of being inconsistent or a record of being, give me reason not to trust
then
you.
That's valid.
That's valid.
So let me say this. Let's go back to the original conversation. Is it me or is it Satan? Now,
Satan.
No, let's go back to, well, some people trust that Satan is after them. They have that belief that Satan is after them.
It's not they believe it, they've been taught that.
They've been taught that, okay.
Mais Dieu a l'entrée dans l'église pour inviter un coup de Bible dans tête.
No, but they do believe Satan is out to get them. They thought about it, they processed it, they lived that, they talked about
in the
it
church?
all the time. And outside of the church.
Well, that's fine outside the church. But if you're in the church, you're thinking that way, then you're telling me that verset qui dit comme ça, sac nan moi plus fort que sac nan ou il pas valide pour. Sac avec nan plus fort que sac méchant. Qui ça veut dire?
So I think we come to, let me just one last statement and we come to the conclusion, we take the conclusion. Et les mariages, on commente les mariages, m'a dit tout les deux. Yo peuple côté majorité pas instruit, yo pas besoin de grand chose. C'est manger ak boire seulement yo besoin.
Bâton, si Haïti, bâton tout.
Du valet du bâton.
Bâton, yes.
Et yo besoin chita sous compte monde. Tout travail haïtien veut faire, c'est chita des bureaux.
Oui.
En pile préjugé pour le travail qui pas permettre de faire du relais. Nous avons un pile problème. Puis nous corriger, puis nous corriger par la racine. So, problem is, alors c'est pas tout haïtien, faut me dire ça avec honnêteté. Par exemple, nous connaissons haïtien.
Of course.
Nous connaissons pile haïtien, nous connaissons pile monde qui m'a parlé avocat vivre konya, qui me connaît qui bâti bel caille au Cap. Il y a un petit monde qui parle Cap fini dans combien d'années dans médecine. Mais comment le fait? Et c'est pour te panier sous tête. C'est le foyer soulier. Mais lui-même, il n'est pas contre lui. Même pas ton bagage. Même mon ça qui fait là, on garantit. Parce que nous connaissons quelqu'un qui est là. On garantit. Garantie! Les petits monsieur finissent sur pas un côté pour aller à l'école. Si c'est un octave pour aller pour un panier, mais tu te peux aller manger, en vérité, il y a mourir grand goût.
Well, we all miss when we raise kids, we all
want
miss
them to
some
succeed.
stuff.
But what I'm saying to you is, what this person is saying, I compare the pioneer to, in their time and context. You understand? The parents. The pioneer was how they can provide for them. Mm-hmm. In my time and context, though it's not pioneer, but there must be something I can do to provide for my children. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Based on their knowledge, limited knowledge, what my parents did to provide for us, I probably would never do. But based on the knowledge at the time, what was available to them.
Let me tell you, Pastor. If I were back home right now, that's one of my biggest regrets.
You would relive the moment.
The land.
Yeah. Oh, you would work the land.
Land of my
But you
parents.
understand what I'm saying? Now that you're here, you have a different set of knowledge, you're in different circumstances, on a different environment, but you still have to find a way to provide for your family. The concept, the system never, it goes on and on and on. But the problem this person is raising is when you have to sit, okay? When you have to sit and you're looking at one way, only one way, either government pour voler l'argent dans le gouvernement or bien office bureau. That's all you're looking for. And there are many other opportunities. You're going to switch that up here? You're going to have many opportunities, many available to you. You're not taking advantage of them because you're looking for one way to do it.
Of course.
All right, we come to the point where we want to conclude. Sister Dani qui m'a dit téléphone moi plusieurs reprises. Numéro c'est 904 738 1428 904 738 1428. You can text or call, not now though, after the show, and we'll talk whatever the situation is. So, conclusion.
I can conclude. I started. I can
Go
conclude.
ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone well over an hour and a half trying to debate. Est-ce que c'est moi? Est-ce que c'est Satan? Nous parler de un pile Satan, gros Satan, petit Satan, système, diable là, que n'importe gens ou les là. Ça me connaît et ça que moi prends de toute conversation. Nous tout fait avec what's called internal capacity. Nous gagnons une série de social, emotional, cognitive, you name it. Bon Dieu te fait nous avec une série de habilités nous gagnons en nous-mêmes. D'après ça, Dr Belizaire dit nous gagnons quite enough external resources. Si nous parlons dans le contexte Haïti, nous gagnons différents gens, you can be creative pour chercher un gens pour vivre. Charles Darwin, the father of evolution and all that good stuff, survival of the fittest, il dit comme ça, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change.
Have mercy.
Et il te fait commentaire ça, 1809, something like that. C'est pas moun qui pi strong là, c'est pas moun qui pi intelligent, but you have to be receptive to change. Frère Maxime, for far too long, we've been stagnant, we've been stuck. Nous étions dans le même genre nous penser. Nous pas changer our paradigm. We don't experience a paradigm shift in the way we think, in the way we see the world, and the way we do things. And as a result, nous étions dans un système côté que nous pensons nous pas capables. Nous pas jamais capables. L'autre communauté, yo ka font série de bagages. Oui, l'homme jouer the devil's advocate, l'avocat du diable, c'est parce que moi pas voulais discount une série de bagages qui entrent en ligne de compte. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that whatever internal capacity we have been built with, bon Dieu fait nous wonderfully and fearfully made. Il fait nous avoir une série de capacités internes, côté que nous ka tap into them. Pas quitter ces circonstances la vie qui détermine qui genre you fare out in life. It's time that we stop surviving. We need to get to thriving. Et Paul t'es passé bon côté aujourd'hui après Paul dans galaxie. Oui, pendant il saute la caille, ou Paul passé dans galaxie. Oh, you got it like that. Exclusive. Now Galatians 5:13, il dit, you, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free. But do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. We have got to be free of mental captivity. We have got to be free of spiritual strongholds. We have got to be free of certain mentalities. And when we are truly free, it is our job. It is our responsibility to help our brothers and sisters. It is our responsibility to tap into, if I can make it, if I can do it, so can my brother and sister. À la prochaine, m'attendons encore semaine qui venir pour une autre conversation qui pas même mais qui animé même genre. Merci.
Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles et Messieurs, c'est un plaisir. Merci pour tout le monde qui t'a partagé opinion, ça qui été en silence. Nous disons merci parce que nous t'ai contribué dans l'émission. Et je me souviens que Barack Obama was running for president, il a posé candidat pour président. Monsieur a un discours qui t'a dit comme ça que we are the ones that we have been waiting for. C'est nous c'est monde que nous t'attendons. Monsieur dit comme ça que today is the tomorrow that we have been praying for. Jodia, c'est demain que nous t'a prié pour l'IA. Nous pas qu'à prier pour demain, on demain pas jamais arriver, mesdames et messieurs. Moi viens là pour m'utiliser mon Barack Obama pour me dire nous jodia, c'est demain que nous te gain 10 ans depuis n'a prié pour l'IA. Tout côté nous piler, bon Dieu dit Libanon comme territoire nous. Donc c'est pour piler. Sous pas piler, ou pas qu'à dire bon Dieu pas de bon territoire. Donc on y a là, mandé tête est-ce que ou a piler pour bon Dieu qu'a bon territoire. Ou ça veut dire ou pas qu'à venir entrer dans le système pour continuer dire comme ça, ce système yo, et pourtant, bon Dieu te getandu, des populaires libres comme territoire. Ça veut dire ou rejeter, ça bon Dieu te ba ou, l'autre bon Dieu te ba ou American just like the other American. You have the right. You can be part of the system. Understand the economic system. You have the same thing that they benefit from. I know white privilege. It exists. The same way you have privilege as well. Okay? But m'pa vle pour fonctionner dans le système, pour me mettre à côté, pour dire ce système yo, c'est pas système moins. C'est pays yo, c'est pas pays moins. It has to become yours in order for you to take care of it. C'est ça que fait avant haïtien car gérer Haïti, avant ou nettoyer the street of Port-au-Prince, you must embrace that. C'est pays moins, c'est pas pays yo. Parce que si c'est pour yo, ou toujours maltraité. Si c'est pour yo, ou pas prendre soin de lui. Là, on fait mon machine ou l'eau machine, ou pas prendre soin, même gens, ou prendre soin machine pas. Là, on dans hôtel, ou pas nettoyer, même gens nettoyer caillou. D'abord, pas nettoyer hôtel là, son monde qui vient nettoyer pour. Parce que l'attachement ou gagne avec lui, il est différent. C'est comme ça, peuple haïtien. Faut qu'on attachement avec mon taille qui en Haïti, avec pied bois, avec la ria, parce qu'on connaît que si je sale la ria, c'est moi-même qui me sale. Si je coupe pied bois, c'est pied qui me coupe, ou un attachement avec lui. Quand nous venons, nous entortier ensemble. Nous c'est une avec l'autre. Victor Hugo toujours passé bon la caille là.
I know that's right.
You know that. Victor Hugo me chita bon la caille là, m'a calculé. Et problème pas moi. Victor dit Dr Belizaire, m'ta remen di un bagay. Changer opinion, kembe principe, changer feuille, kembe racine au côté le planter. Gangan c'est bon la caille là rete, c'est gangan pam, l'irité nous parler voisin. C'est gangan pam. Gangan dit comme ça, ouais, tout ça Victor Hugo Fendou là, bon bagay pour songer. À bon point, même pas vouloir al dormir dans mitan kafou. C'est pas parce qu'on a une grâce bon Dieu sur vous pour tenter diable n'importe côté. C'est ça, ça veut dire. Vous connaissez, m'a quitté nous sur parole Victor Hugo avec parole gangan. N'a parlé
sur ça Seigneur dit. Bonne parole Seigneur, tant pis.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Pierre. Thank you, Dr. Belizaire. For me, I had a conversation with Bob Marley.
Oh, no woman, no
cry. Legalize it.
Not only did he say no woman, no cry, he said emancipate yourself
Yes,
from
sir.
mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. So then that goes to the conversation we're having. He's saying that you have a responsibility. You have a part to play in the whole process. You can blame somebody for keeping you. On peut toujours blâmer au monde pour qu'il y ait un esclavage, pour qu'il y ait un système. But est-ce que vous-même fait tout ça?
Is there something else I can help with?
Est-ce que vous-même fait ça qui m'aide ou dans la situation, dans ça qu'on gagne? But then again, pendant que vous pensez à ça, Bob Marley dit, et entendez, vous associé à John F. Kennedy, président des États-Unis, qui a été tué dans les années 60, qui parle dire comme ça que ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Well, of course, later on, what do you call it again? Ronald Reagan repeated that. I think even Churchill said that way before that. But the problem is, again, both of these individuals saying, you have individually, chaque individu a une responsabilité pour faire bagaille. On pas juste si t'as pas du gouvernement pas fait pour moi chaque jour qu'on fait Branham ou appeler de manifester, you know, brûler, etc. Je songe tout mon serviteur, je me dis non, parce que je n'ai pas de problème ensemble avec vous. Et dans un discours qui était titré Pas négliger, ça a mérité, que on parle, que on comprenne.
Serviteur. Oh, on va comprendre ça, vous voulez dire. Serviteur. OK.
Et puis, n'a pas négligé, ça a mérité, discours a dit, et si vous n'avez pas qu'à manger, vous avez un chalet dans le ventre, vous avez un chalet dans le dos, vous avez un chalet dans le sentier, vous n'avez pas qu'à manger, gardez à gauche, gardez à droite, gardez le monde qui a fait souffrir, et puis, il dit, pas négliger, ça a mérité. En d'autres termes, c'est eux qui sont responsables pour côtoyer, et dégager, ça a mérité. Well, listen, as long as nous cherchons le monde pour nous blâmer, nous avons toujours tombé dans le problème, ça, nous avons détruit l'autre, nous avons toujours déchiré, manger l'autre. Sometimes nous-mêmes tirons les gens qui pas même responsable pour conditions là-dedans, en pensant que l'on fait tirer, que la situation n'a pas changé. Seulement après nous finissons réaliser l'on tire la situation fait plus grave qu'elle était avant. Why? Because the problems start with you. The solutions start with you. The problems start with you. So, on regarde en dedans pour ça qu'on fait d'abord avant de commencer à blâmer les forces externes qui agissent sur. So what is the Lord says? The Lord is saying to you, I made everything available to you. I created the heaven and the earth. Everything is available to you. And not just to the white, to the black, to the Chinese, everything. Vous dites, pasteur, because of ça. Jésus fait une conversation avec tout. Jésus dit comme ça, pasteur, bien, in fact, pendant semaine, ça, ça nous parle à peine de faire conversation. Tellement bon Dieu, bon, il dit, Jésus dit, regardez, bon Dieu fait soleil lever sur juste là. Il fait soleil la lever sur méchant. Il fait la pluie tomber sur le terrain juste là. Il fait la pluie tomber sur le terrain méchant. En d'autres termes, bon Dieu pas fait exception de personne. Toute ressource bon Dieu est available to all of us. Cependant, terrain méchant, terrain juste là, le résultat pas jeune pas dépendre de ça offense avec. My question to you is, terrain bon Dieu bon là, qui sont offense avec. And there's a quote that says, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And I think terrain cerveau, en plus de nous, c'est nous gaspiller, oui, que bon Dieu aide nous à cultiver terrain ça, pour nous apporter changement, non seulement dans la vie, nous, mais aussi changement autour de nous, dans l'environnement côté de la vie. Eh bien, pour te servir aujourd'hui, c'était tout staff Inappropriate Conversation, Dr Pierre,
Yes, Julie.
Dr Belizaire, Pasteur Jocelyn Belizaire, connu comme pasteur de la communauté haïtienne. Nous avons rendez-vous pour dimanche prochain, dans le même lieu, 4h30, pour conversation inappropriée.
We need to ask why Haitians never on time.
Well,
But
that's special.
that's for no, that's today. But we've been late.
Yeah, we need to
if
talk
we
about
have to look at ourselves in the mirror,
We've been late.
we have been late.
We've been
Come
late
on, let's
few
go.
times.
Let's
So,
go.
nous avons besoin de garder ça.
That's a different conversation.
So,
That's
pour ça, dimanche, pas dimanche, non, bon, la pour nous avoir une conversation, ça pour que ça nous toujours en retard. Nous souhaitons qu'on partage le live là avec plusieurs personnes, inviter pour capable partager aussi. Et aussi, bah, nous, on pousse élevé, parce que ça aide tout pour capable distribuer et programmation, suggérée par l'autre monde qui capable regarder. Nous pouvons recevoir un commentaire ou, nous n'avons pas de problème, on peut email nous, si nous parler, mais pour telle raison, whatever, we are ready to listen. Mais entre-temps, nous disons, on nous rester dans la paix, on nous supporter, nous c'est haïtiens, nous avons un peu pour nous vivre pour lui. Bon Dieu bénis nous. À la prochaine.